Have you ever dreamed of uncovering the secret behind the world's greatest fortunes? What sets apart these families who not only created but multiplied their wealth across generations, turning dreams into global empires? Imagine for a moment, less than 1% of the world's population holds over 44% of global wealth. But how exactly did these families enter this elite group? Today, you're about to embark on a journey through time and history, discovering the pillars that built the empires of the world's richest families. From visionary bankers to oil magnates and retail innovators, each story is a legacy of ambition, strategy, and sometimes unimaginable controversy. So, if you're curious to unravel how these dynasties not only survived but thrived through adversities, stay with us. We're going to reveal not just how these families built their wealth, but also how they influence the world to this day. Chapter 1. The Rothschilds, Bankers of the World. Just imagine, my friends, starting from scratch and creating a wealth network so vast it spans continents and centuries. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But that's the real story of the Rothschild family, which began with Mayer Amschel Rothschild, a humble coin trader in 18th century Frankfurt. And how, you might ask, does a man in those times transform his family into a synonym for global wealth and power? Let me tell you. Mayer had a simple but revolutionary plan. He sent his 5 sons to the major European capitals of the time: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt, each with the mission to establish a bank. Yes, one family, 5 cities, 5 banks. Sounds like a board game strategy, but that's exactly what put the Rothschilds on the global financial map. And here's a curiosity that always fascinates me. Did you know that the Rothschild family was a pioneer in using carrier pigeons for quick communication between their banks in different cities? That's right, in a time without telephones or the internet, they had their own feathered WhatsApp. This not only gave them an advantage in financial information but also helped to protect their wealth and business strategy. But what really defines the Rothschilds is not just their ability to accumulate wealth, it's also how they managed and expanded it. They financed wars, country reconstructions, and were instrumental in developing infrastructures we know today, like railways and mining. And don't think it was all about business. The Rothschilds also became great philanthropists, contributing to art, science, and education. Their art collections, for example, are jaw-dropping, and a significant part has been donated to museums around the world. Now, you might be wondering, what about today? Well, though more discreet, the Rothschilds continue to be a powerhouse in the financial world, diversifying their investments into areas like agriculture, mining, and even technology. So, what does this story teach us? First, that with a clear vision and the right strategy, it's possible to build something that lasts generations. And second, that true empires are built not just with wealth, but with intelligence, innovation, and a commitment to advancing society. It's incredible to think how the story of one family can intertwine so deeply with the world's history, isn't it? And this is just one of the many fascinating stories of the world's richest families. The question remains, what can we learn from them to apply in our own lives, even if on a much different scale? Chapter 2. The Rockefeller Dynasty, The Power of Oil. Now, let's take a turn and dive into the story of another family that, like the Rothschilds, shaped the world around them, but with a different golden liquid, oil. I'm talking, of course, about the Rockefellers. Ever stop to think how a single family could practically invent the modern oil industry and become one of the richest and most influential on the planet? Well, here's the story. John D. Rockefeller, the patriarch, was a shrewd businessman and, to some, ruthless. In the late 19th century, he founded Standard Oil, which quickly became more than a company. It became a symbol of innovation and, on the other hand, of monopoly and unprecedented corporate power. Here's a curiosity that always gives me pause. Did you know Rockefeller had such faith in the potential of oil that he reportedly said he would rather pay more for a good idea than for a good product? That's right, for him, the vision of the future and innovation were worth more than the oil itself. And this mindset was one of the pillars for the creation of his empire. The expansion of Standard Oil was so vast and its business practices so aggressive that the United States government had to intervene, resulting in the famous antitrust decision that led to the company being broken up into 34 independent entities. Interestingly, this breakup didn't diminish the Rockefeller family's wealth. Rather, the diversification of investments actually increased it further. But, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers also understood the importance of philanthropy. They established foundations that had a profound impact on education, health, and science. The Rockefeller University, for example, is a landmark in the advancement of medical research. So, what does this show us? Well, first, that oil, literally and figuratively, was the fuel for one of the greatest fortunes and influences in the modern world. But also, that with great wealth comes the responsibility to contribute to the betterment of society. Today, the Rockefellers continue to be a powerful force, investing in sustainable energy and social development. This leads us to reflect, perhaps the true measure of an empire is the mark it leaves on future generations, in terms of wealth as well as contributions to a better world. As we move forward on this journey, exploring the stories of these extraordinary families, it's worth asking, how can we use the lessons from their lives, both the triumphs and the mistakes, to inform our own paths? How can we, in our own way, contribute to a lasting legacy? Chapter 3. The Waltons Retail Kings. Shifting from oil to store shelves and shopping carts, let's now talk about a family that transformed the way the world does its everyday shopping. Yes, I'm referring to the Waltons, the family behind the retail giant Walmart. It's a story that takes us from the heart of America to virtually every corner of the globe. So, how did a modest store become the world's largest retailer? Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, started with a simple yet powerful philosophy: offer lower prices so people can live better. Sounds straightforward, right? But executing this idea was anything but simple. Sam was a pioneer in strategies that are standard in retail today, such as efficient supply chain management and strategic store placement to maximize customer flow. Here's a fun fact that always brings a smile to my face. Did you know Sam Walton used to pilot his own small plane from store to store? That's right, he literally flew across the country to ensure each Walmart delivered the experience he envisioned. It's a testament to personal commitment and attention to detail that defined Walmart's expansion. But what truly sets the Waltons apart isn't just the colossal size of their retail network. It's their innovative and disruptive approach to the retail business. They were able to foresee and adapt to changes in consumer behavior, embracing technology and globalization before many of their competitors. And, like the other families on our tour, the Waltons have a significant philanthropic side, with large donations to education, health, and sustainability. They understand that building an empire also means giving back, helping to build a stronger and fairer society. Now, looking at the legacy of the Waltons, it's interesting to reflect on the impact of their innovations in retail. How they changed not just how we shop, but also how products are distributed and sold around the world. This leads us to an intriguing question: how can the decisions of one family influence the global economy and the everyday lives of billions of people? So, as we continue forward, exploring the origins of wealth of these remarkable families, it's valuable to consider not just the business strategies behind their empires, but also how those strategies affect each of us, day to day. As the Waltons demonstrate, building a lasting legacy is about much more than just accumulating wealth. It's about shaping the future of how we live, work, and interact in our global society. Chapter 4. The Saud's Wealth from Oil and Global Influence. Now, let's travel to the desert, where sand meets sky, and where a family turned a vast territory of arid land into one of the planet's most influential and wealthy empires. Yes, I'm talking about the Saudi royal family, the Sauds, whose story is as captivating as the vast deserts they rule. But how exactly did a predominantly desert country become synonymous with wealth and power? The key, of course, is oil. The saga of the Sauds begins with Abdulaziz ibn Saud, who, through a mix of diplomacy and conquest, unified various desert tribes under one flag, creating the modern state of Saudi Arabia. And then, in 1938, came the discovery that would change everything: oil, and lots of it. This not only solidified the Sauds' position on the global stage, but also catapulted them into the center of global geopolitics. A fascinating tidbit is that, in the early days of oil production, the value and potential of this resource weren't fully understood. There was even some skepticism about its impact. Just imagine, in a world before oil's dominance, who could predict how it would completely change the face of the global economy? Under the leadership of the Sauds, Saudi Arabia became the world's largest oil exporter, with the state-owned company Aramco at the center of its economic power. But what really sets the Sauds apart is how they used this wealth. Not just for luxury and ostentation, which certainly exists, but also in massive investments in infrastructure, education, and health, transforming a nation of desert nomads into a modern powerhouse. And like any great power, the Sauds have been central figures in global issues, from diplomacy to conflicts, exerting an influence that extends far beyond their national borders. They are intricately linked to the power dynamics, economy, and religion that shape our world today. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Saud story is the challenge they now face: how to adapt to a world seeking alternatives to oil. With investments in technology, renewable energy, and tourism, the Sauds are redefining their legacy, showing that even the oldest empires can reinvent themselves. This chapter reminds us that power and wealth are as much about what you have as about how you use it. For the Sauds, oil was just the beginning. Their true journey is defined by the vision to transform natural wealth into a lasting legacy of progress, innovation, and global influence. As we conclude this journey through the histories of the world's wealthiest and most influential families, it's essential to reflect on the broader themes and lessons these narratives offer. From the pioneering bankers of the Rothschild dynasty to the retail revolutionaries of the Walton family, and from the oil magnates of the Rockefeller and Saud families, each story is a testament to vision, strategy, perseverance, and, sometimes, the complex responsibilities that accompany immense wealth and power. These narratives teach us more than just how wealth is accumulated. They reveal how it's managed, multiplied, and most importantly, how it can be used to influence and improve the world around us. They inspire us to look beyond the here and now, to dream big, and to consider how we might leave our own mark on the world, whether on a global scale or within our communities. Each chapter of this journey has not been just a tale of the past. It has been a window into understanding the present and perhaps foreseeing the future. And the future is precisely what we aim to continue exploring together in this channel. Stories that not only inform but inspire. Conversations that not only question but also celebrate the limitless possibilities of the human condition. So, if you enjoyed this journey through time, strategy, and the lives of people who have shaped our world, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and become part of this journey of discovery and inspiration. Together, we will continue to explore the fascinating stories that surround us, learning from the past and inspiring the future. Remember, every subscription, like, and share helps us bring more of these incredible stories to you. And who knows? Maybe somewhere along the way, we'll find together the inspiration to write our own chapters of success and legacy. So, don't forget, subscribe now and join us on this amazing journey. Until next time.